Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. I'm Amanda Rowley. Mark is off tonight. Well, let's get started. In less than 24 hours, the man suspected of killing 4 University of Idaho students is expected back in court. The focus of the hearing is to discuss pausing proceedings against Brian Coburger so he can challenge his grand jury indictment. Now, Coburger is asking for all documents from the grand jury that indicted him and time to review them. The state argues he is only entitled to an audio recording or transcript of the grand jury proceedings. A judge will make that decision at tomorrow's hearing. It starts at 1:30 p.m. at the Latah County Courthouse. KREM 2 will have a crew there in the courtroom. And another update on this case, just a few hours ago, we confirmed the Latah County prosecutor will seek the death penalty for Coburger if he is found guilty. This comes more than a month since a grand jury formally indicted the suspect. In new tonight, we're learning Spokane police responded to a shooting at Franklin Park early Saturday morning. According to police, a group of people got into a fight, and that's when someone fired a gun. The group of people at the scene had already left the area when police arrived. SPD says the few people still at the scene were not cooperative. Police did not find any victims, but they did find a shell casing. And in the last hour, Spokane City Council members passed an ordinance that cracks down on violating city park hours. The amendment would mean a misdemeanor instead of a civil infraction for being in the park after hours. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk joins us now to break down the outcome and explain why city law enforcement say and change is needed.
Tonight, in a 4-3 vote, Spokane City Council members passed an ordinance which increases the penalty for trespassing in parks after hours. That penalty now jumps from a civil infraction to a misdemeanor. All neighborhood parks are closed from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. except Riverfront Park, which closes an hour later. Spokane police say they've seen a significant increase in crime and vandalism across city parks. According to SPD data, between January 2021 and March of this year, there were 29 shootings in 22 different city parks.
If I lived across the street from Franklin Park right now, I would put my house for sale and I would leave. And it's the same for some of these other parks, because whether you want to believe it or not, it is out of control. And if we can give our officers one more tool, and maybe if a call comes in and an officer can approach that person, maybe those officers can stop that shooting before it happens.
Dozens of people spoke out against the ordinance during public comment, saying the law unfairly targets the homeless. Council members Zappone, Beggs, and Wilkerson voted against the ordinance. They do not believe it'll increase safety and could put the city in legal jeopardy. In Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Shifting gears to weather, with everything going on this weekend, we sure lucked out weather-wise. So let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo to find out if our luck is going to continue this week. Jeremy, what do the dice say?
Oh, they say we get a bit of everything as long as everything is heat. All right, well, we get heat and we get a bit of a break from some of that heat when it comes to afternoon storms, and that's really about it. 72 degrees right now. I don't know the last time I talked to you when I said it was 72 degrees at 10 o'clock. It is that kind of hot outside. A few of those storms kind of tapering off. All in all, not much going on the radar, and that remains the case. We might see a little bit of stray shower activity early tomorrow morning. I don't think it's nearly that widespread. We just don't quite have the dynamics to do so. What we do have is enough atmospheric energy, we'll say, that we could get a round of scattered thunderstorms tomorrow. Most of those stay off to the north and up in the mountains of North Idaho. For the most part, we miss out on a good chunk of it, similar to today. Somewhere around Spokane, we'll see one, but once again, most of us don't get it. 82 degrees because of some of that cloud cover and those storms. 83 on Wednesday, but once we get rid of the storms, it's heat and a lot of it. 90 Thursday, and it's only getting hotter from there.
All right, caught on camera, a harrowing rescue in Santiago, Chile. You can see emergency responders saved 2 people and their dog from strong flood currents. Now, the flood came on quickly with massive downpour triggering the river to overflow. City officials say this is the worst weather they've ever seen in a decade. And now to Night Beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. Spokane police arrested a Lincoln County man following the death of a 5-month-old baby that was in the hospital for weeks, and we just learned last week died. Now, the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office says staff at Sacred Heart Hospital here in Spokane noticed suspicious injuries on the infant. Investigators are awaiting the autopsy report, but they say the injuries were consistent with shaken baby syndrome. Deputies booked 29-year-old Jordan Mills J. into the Lincoln County Jail for murder in the 2nd degree. Now, his relationship to that infant or what led to his arrest is not known at this hour. And new tonight, proof that Idaho's Project Safe Neighborhoods initiative is working. U.S. Attorney Josh Hurwitz with the District of Idaho announced 8 people pleaded guilty to or were sentenced this week in federal court for firearm offenses and drug trafficking. The initiative is an evidence-based program, and the U.S. Attorney's Office says this shows it's proving to be effective. Plus, Airway Heights police are searching for the man responsible for the fire at a Napa Auto Parts store Saturday morning. Police believe the fire started when the suspect tried to steal gas from one of the vehicles. The suspect rolled out from under the vehicle and left after the fire began. Now, as police continue searching for this suspect tonight, they say they may have suffered burns and could seek medical attention. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word NIGHT to 509-448-2000. We'll send them right to your phone. Well, last night, several people came together in Spokane Valley to remember the Gorge shooting victims. It's been more than a week since 2 people were killed and 3 others were injured, including the shooting suspect. A small crowd gathered at Marabou Point Park, holding small candles and making bracelets with the names of the victims. Now, Vigil co-organizer Shelby Major says she was at the Gorge inside the festival when the shooting happened.
Being together, and I know like being with other people and being able to share your experiences helps people heal, and not everybody has that safe space at home or like the family and friends to be able to process through it. So I thought it was good to provide that space.
The suspect, James Kelly, appeared in court last week in Grant County. He faces 2 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of first-degree assault, and 1 count of first-degree assault domestic violence. And one of the Gorge shooting victims, Lily Lukeseach, who is still hospitalized, released a statement. She said in part, the past 10 days have been overwhelming, as you can imagine. What happened to me and the other victims was an unthinkable tragedy. My deepest sympathies go out to the other victims and their families and friends who have been affected. I am still processing it all, and it will be for a long time. Now, coming up at 10:15, we'll hear for the first time from someone who knew the 2 women killed last weekend and why she says Brandy and Jocelyn left a mark in the world. Turning now to Northwest News, 3 people overdosed at a senior living facility in Western Washington. And tonight, investigators are trying to figure out what happened. Emergency responders arrived to find 3 people overdosing in 1 unit. The 3 people include 1 woman in her 60s, a man in his 50s, and another woman whose age has not yet been released. The man was released from the hospital, but the 2 women remain in critical condition.
I'm seeing it through all walks of life, from teenagers all the way up, and the fentanyl is so bad, it's, I see them of all ages.
Medics at the scene provided life-saving care, including administering Narcan. Now onto a developing story here. Spokane City Administrator Johnny Perkins is under investigation tonight. Perkins is on administrative leave due to employee concerns, but we still don't know what those concerns are. Now, this isn't the first time he's been under investigation. When he first took office in 2021, an employee accused Perkins of treating him differently because he's black. That investigation found no evidence of racial discrimination. Before that, Perkins took over a controversial land development project in San Diego. Our San Diego sister station reports the city knew the building had problems, and it sits vacant tonight. This is a developing story, and we're still working to track down the exact reason Perkins is under investigation this time around. A proposal to eliminate Spokane's parking requirements for new housing construction in the downtown core was just introduced to Spokane City Council tonight. Right now, if a new triplex was built, a minimum 3 parking spots would have to be added as well. This ordinance would do away with that requirement, which makes construction cheaper.
And a study has shown that the cost of development can increase by up to 15%. That is then passed on to owners and renters. That could be about $20,000 to $45,000 per unit or per house.
The proposal could be getting a final vote from City Council as early as mid-July.